What's up, idols? It's Cece Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on this video. So for today, I think it's time I spill some of my own tea. I started my channel in May of 2018, and from that point I did story times and vlogs about my life in Korea as a foreigner, as an English teacher, and that was pretty much what my channel was until last year when you guys started to send in your own stories. And that's when I learned that everyone is out there crawling through the trenches just trying to make it through day-to-day life. But I think today's a good time to do a bit of a throwback because something amazing happened to me yesterday and I cannot wait to share this with you guys. This video is going to be about me and my boyfriend and what happened yesterday. Before we start, I want to say I don't plan on making him content or talking about him too much on my channel, but I think as we date longer and longer, you will see him here and there. I think that's only natural. So that's why he's not on my YouTube channel. That's why his face has not been revealed on my Instagram, but he did agree to let me put it on my Patreon. So like I have 100,000 followers here on YouTube. I have 19,000 on Instagram. I don't do Twitter or anything like that. And he said, you know, well, Patreon, it's about 330 of you guys who are paid patrons so far. And he did say, you know, that's a small enough pool. I'm comfortable with that. So if you want to see what he looks like, then check out my Patreon. You guys have been blowing up his head a little bit like, oh, he's cute. What a cute guy. So handsome. Also my Patreon, I finally have a home for the stories I can't put on YouTube because for the last year, you guys have been emailing me some descriptive, explicit, NSFW story times that I cannot put on YouTube because it will get demonetized. Hooking up in the bathroom at a club in Gangnam, DVD bong experiences, my first time at a love motel, things like that. So check out my Patreon if you want to see those. Sorry for this video. Every now and then I do want to give you guys some tea about my own life. So today is a good day because I got a lot of tea to spill. Where to start? So for the past year, I've been getting a lot of story times from you guys where you're dating in Korea, and sometimes that means you meet your boyfriend's parents. Sometimes it's great and they embrace you and they love you and it's a really nice positive story to put out there. Other times they say things like, you should date a Korean girl, don't bring that monkey into my house. This is the part in the story that I did not believe. I didn't want to believe it, but she said, girl, I can't make this shit up, it happened. The grandfather said in English, because again, little brother speaking English, so the grandfather wants to show off his English. He said, you bring monkey to our home.
Hey yo, what the?
It goes without saying that I was nervous to meet my boyfriend's mom, and that's what happened yesterday, and that's what we're going to talk about. I have only met a partner's parents one time, and that was back in 2016, and even though they're immigrants, they've been in the States for decades, so they're Americanized, but also they don't speak a lot of English, so I didn't really have that worry about communicating with them or running out of things to talk about, because pretty much, you know, they kind of smiled at me and would nod, and they were the nicest people. Could not ask for a better first time meeting your boyfriend's parents experience. But because they didn't speak English that well, it meant they would ask my boyfriend a question and he would translate to me, so we kind of talked through him. I never had that experience of meeting someone's parents who was born and raised in a different culture, different country, outside of the US. So that's what happened yesterday. Before I get into what happens, I want to give you guys a quick rundown on how we met and how we got here and why I'm in Hong Kong, for example. So my channel members got this tea pretty much as soon as it happened. I didn't get too descriptive because it was still an early relationship. I didn't want to jinx anything. And again, I don't want to do what I did with my ex. I had him in my videos. We made content together. I don't want to do that again. So I'm trying not to talk about him too much. But you know, fair is fair and I've got tea to spill, so I'm going to do it. So it all started back in October. It's funny because I actually spent the whole summer last year paying for like the Hinge Premium. I paid like $51 a month for that bullshit.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
And it didn't work, no. I finally decided to get rid of the Hinge Premium or Hinge Plus thing in like September or October, and that's of course when I met my boyfriend. So we met on Hinge, and I spent a lot of time in Bristol, and my friend there, she has this great boyfriend, and I think it's only natural that when you see your friends with a great guy, it just makes you feel like, why can't I find my prince? So I decided to go back on Hinge, even though I'd like deleted the premium thing. I was like, let me just swipe for free and see what happens. So it was towards the end of October, near Halloween, my favorite time of year, and I was in Bristol, and I was swiping because other people have love, I want love too. And I found this guy, and the prompt that got me, it says something like, you should not go out with me if you don't admire corgi butts as much as I do. And I responded to that because that was funny. I'm like, oh, that's like a trick question, right? Who doesn't love a good corgi butt? And I didn't even realize how awesome corgi butts were until I was in Korea, 2018 or something. We were in Hongdae near exit 3, and that's where a lot of people walk their dogs. Bria pointed out this really adorable corgi and the way he walked, and his butt was so fluffy and switching. I was like, wow, that is a nice butt.
As far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass.
That is America's ass.
corgis brought us together basically. So yeah, I responded to his prompt and waited because I was really used to not getting matches. I didn't think anything was going to happen, or getting a match but no reply, no comment, no attempt at conversation whatsoever. But on Halloween, he responded. We were kind of talking not that often in the first few days, and that's another reason why I was like, oh, I don't think he likes me. I don't think he's that interested. And mind you, this is only like the first week of us talking. It's funny because he friend zoned me immediately. He said, you know, we can hang out and it's cool as long as you're not under any illusion or delusion of a relationship, because logistically it wouldn't work out.
That is not correct.
So I'm like, okay, that's cool. Friend zone, got it. But you know, friends are good too. I always look for people to hang out with, so I didn't mind that. So fast forward to November 5th. If you guys know the movie V for Vendetta, remember the 5th of November, there's like bonfire night and fireworks and stuff. And I didn't get to go last year because there was like train strikes and it was rainy weather. And I went the year before with my ex. Didn't want that to be my only memory of that festival and experience. So when my friend Ikram, Lily, they're like, hey, we're going, you should come too. I'm like, down, going. And November 5th was such a nice day in London. It was sunny, it wasn't too cold, and I didn't want to go into the city just for the fireworks at night. I was like, I kind of want to go for the day and walk around or something. So I messaged my boyfriend, wasn't my boyfriend at the time, and I said, hey, I have some free time in London today if you want to meet up and hang out. I fully did not expect him to say yes, but he did say yes. He agreed to meet me. I was like, oh shit, sweet. All right, I'll see you soon. So we met up at Waterloo Station, walked around, and again, I was friend zoned. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, bro, saw dude. Like, I was very bro-y with him. I wasn't flirty or anything. Like, I was dressed cute, but that's because I had girls' night to look forward to. He was just like a uni student who had an early class and didn't want to wake up and get dressed properly. So yeah, we had a good time. We were talking about like recent relationships. He was saying how he couldn't find any corgis in London. We happened to see a corgi. I was like, look, dude, there are corgis everywhere. I don't know where you've been. He hadn't seen a rainbow in London yet. We saw a rainbow that day, and I wanted to get some green tea and walk towards Battersea where the festival was going to be. So that's what we did. It amazes me because we were talking about relationships, like our most recent one. So I spilled all my tea. I told him, yeah, you know, I came up here to London originally on like a 3-week solo trip. I met this guy on Bumble and I decided to stay a little bit longer. And it turns out he was married. He had a kid. He didn't tell me. It was a tumultuous, horrible relationship. Never again will I date a Gemini male. So when's your birthday? Luckily, he's not a Gemini. We're good there. And he told me how with his most recent relationship, he caught her cheating on him. He went to her place to see her and saw her getting out of a guy's car. Yeah, she got caught cheating. Looking back now, like we've been together 6 months now, I just can't believe someone fumbled such a great guy. He is the greatest guy. Like, he is such a good guy. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to dumb bitches fumbling good men every day because it gives me a chance, but it's still stupid. As soon as he left, my friends were there. Like, I was like, damn, y'all just missed him. And we went to get food and they're like, oh, so who's that guy you were with? Who's this guy that I just missed? And I was like, oh, no, we're just friends. It's nothing like that. And she was like, right, a guy's gonna meet with a pretty girl and y'all are just friends. We'll see, Isis. And she was right.
Bitch, you guessed it. You was right.
I had a good night with my friends, the fireworks, mulled wine, all that stuff. And I have pleurisy. It comes and goes sometimes where, you know, sometimes I'll laugh too hard and I'm like, oh, and I get like this stabbing sharp pain in my chest. It's like inflammation around my heart or something. And it usually only lasts like 5 minutes tops. This night I was on the train home and it was acting up all night. I woke up, it was still there. So I was like, I'm gonna get ibuprofen because that normally helps, and it still was there. So I went to the hospital. I was there for like 8 hours before I finally got diagnosed, and they said, yeah, just take ibuprofen and relax. I'm like, that's what I've been doing. So that's why I didn't film a lot in early November. And it's funny because I was telling him I was in the hospital and he was so worried. And he's like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm so sorry. And now I like to joke and be like, damn, bro, you struck a nerve. Like, you fucked up my heart. Like, I never had pleurisy last for days like that. We end up meeting up again like a week later. I wanted to go to the Tate Modern to see this. It was like this Japanese artist light exhibit, and it's been sold out for forever. And I was like, I can finally go. So he's like, oh yeah, I'll go with you. And he paid for it. He was super nice about it. But again, in my mind, we're just friends, so I didn't think too much of it. He told me he labeled me in his WhatsApp as the girl who lived because I was in the hospital and dying of heart pain for like a week. It was really uncomfortable to have to just take like short, shallowy breaths for days. Like, I couldn't just take a normal deep breath. We went out to the museum, we had a great conversation. And it's funny because you remember on the first date I said he looked like a uni kid, rolled out of bed, had an early class. This time he had his hair slicked back. He had this like cream fit on. I was like, you look cute today. But I, thinking it was just I had like a sweatshirt and leggings on. I put no effort. And then when we were done at the museum, he told me, all right, so, you know, this was fun. I got reservations at 7 for dinner. I was like, oh, you know, thanks for joining me for the museum. Enjoy your dinner. He was like, it's with you, dingus. Like, I made reservations for us. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, it was this amazing French onion soup, and I had like scallops and shrimp. It was so good. So that was like our second date, I guess. I don't know if you want to call it a date. I don't know when we start calling it a date because I was friend zoned for the first few times we hung out. So then fast forward another week or so, I went to Edinburgh in Scotland, and I met up with my friend Jen, and she showed me around. It was Christmas time, so like the Christmas markets were up. It was so nice up there. And the whole time I was up there, he did not talk to me at all. I did not hear from him at all. So I was like, damn, I got ghosted. It happened again. So at the end of my trip, I sent him like a Scooby-Doo ghost gif, and he responded. He's like, oh, hey, no, it's not like that. I've just been busy. I didn't want to bother you on your trip. So then he was like, let me know the next day you're free. So he has a dog. I wanted to meet the dog because I love dogs. And he's like, yeah, you know, you can meet him and we can walk around or whatever. You can tell me about your trip. So that's what I did. I go to meet him where we're supposed to meet the dog, lovely dog. We had brunch, walked around. And then he's like, oh, so I need to rinse his paws. I'm going to go in the house. You want to come in too? So at first I'm just like, okay. I was nervous. I was like, I don't know if I should go in this boy's house, but I did it because I'm stupid. And ever since our first date, when we were chasing corky butts and rainbows, I mentioned how much I like green tea. I had green tea that first day at the Tate. He got us green tea. And this day he was like, oh, I can make you some green tea. Do you want some green tea? So got some green tea, went to the balcony, talked about the day, looked up at the stars. And then out of nowhere, he kissed me. I was so confused because I was like, wait, I thought you just wanted to be my friend. Like, what are you doing? I was very confused. Very, very confused. But it was nice, and I was happy it happened, and that's basically where this all started. Sorry, I don't want to like ramble or anything like, but I feel like I kind of want to let all this lead up to the moment when I got to meet his mom and how I ended up here and all that stuff, because I want to give you guys all the context I possibly can. So after that, we go on dates like pretty much every other day, and that's one thing I really liked about spending time with him, because initially he did tell me he was like a digital nomad, and as long as he had his work done in Hong Kong time on time, he could kind of do whatever, wherever, whenever. But later we do find out that's not quite the case. I'll explain more soon. He had so much free time to hang out with me because when we weren't together, that's when he got his work done. So it was really, really nice and refreshing because I have too much free time sometimes and it's very lonely. So it was nice to have someone. So like we go to see a play. He took me to see, do you see that Valentine's Day card? It's Barry from Saltburn. It's a murder on a dance floor. Yeah, that was the first movie we saw together and I was not ready. Have y'all seen Saltburn? You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that was our first movie date. So we go to movies. He took me to a play, which was the first time I've been to a play since I was in like elementary school on a field trip. We did a lot of walking, lots of dinner, and I like walking. So there was this one day where I went into London to see him, and Marika texted me and said, oh my God, have you checked the train schedules? And I looked and all of them were canceled. So I was suddenly stuck in London. And it's funny because the night I found out, we had a nice walk through, I think it was St. James Park or Regent Park. And there was like no one around. It was dark. You could see the city lights around us. It was really pretty. And we just sat on the bench in the dark and we were just talking. And then out of nowhere, this French guy comes up to us. He was like, excuse me. I can't do a French accent. I'm not even gonna try. But he's like, excuse me. Do you guys know, we're thinking he needs directions and he's lost. He's clearly a foreigner. And he was like, do you have grass? Do you know I can buy weed? We're like, what? No. And it was funny because as he walked away, it was kind of like this awkward silence and we were just like narc at the same time. Growing up in two different parts of the world, two totally different backgrounds, and we are so similar, it freaks me out. That night, I found out all the trains were canceled and I was stuck in London. And he was like, oh my God, like, that's crazy. And that is one thing I really don't like about the UK. The transportation is garbage. Not only is it really expensive, but it's really unreliable. There's so many strikes, landslips, storms that cancel it, things get blown on the tracks, people put themselves on the tracks. It's moving on. So then he was like, oh, I do have a property. You could spend the night there if you need a place to stay so you don't have to get a hotel. Come with me, like I'll show you, you can check it out and see if you're comfortable there. So we went there, and though it was fine, it wasn't that. It's just like, oh, I want my bonnet so I can go to sleep. I need to take off my makeup. I need to take out my contacts. I want to put on clothes and shower. So I really wanted to go home. And he offered to pay for my Uber. He paid for my Uber to get me home, and that was not cheap. That kind of ended our day trips where we have like a day date. And eventually I started to spend a few nights with him at a time. So I would pack like an overnight bag, or for 2 nights or a week even. Like I started to spend way more time with him than I was at home. And it was great, you know. His birthday came and went, which was nice. I got to take him to the Stranger Things prequel play, which is really good. Highly recommend it. Valentine's Day, you guys saw the Valentine's Day vlog. I want to try and give backstory without giving away his information or anything, because he doesn't live up there in the UK. He was visiting, he was helping his brother with something. And that's why it's so funny that when we met, he was only supposed to be there for a little bit, just like I was supposed to be in the UK just for a little bit. And he ended up staying for a little bit longer, just like I did. And it's just funny how it all works out. Busy season for his work was coming up, and he's like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna have to go back to Hong Kong soon. And I was like, damn, that sucks, man. Like, fuck. And of course, you know, when something seems too good to be true, it's because it is. And this is the caveat to our relationship, the distance. His work needs him here most of the time, but he can also kind of just go and come back. So there's that. We have that to work with. I can kind of go wherever, whenever, thanks to you guys. You guys give me a lot of freedom, and I will never take this for granted. And I will never take you for granted. You're the reason I was able to kind of drop everything and be here for almost 3 months with him. And meet his mommy yesterday. The whole time leading up to the point where he knew he was going to have to come back here, he's like, oh, you should come visit me. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to just visit. Like, I don't do good with short-term visits. But I didn't want to be like, I'm following you to Hong Kong. So I didn't want to say it at first. But eventually I did say, you know, I could go for like a month. And then we started to look at service departments. I'm staying in a service department. I mean, I could do like 2 months. I just want to leave before it gets hot. And I was actually supposed to leave on the 8th, but I'm going to be leaving next week. I got my ticket. It's official. I'm going to be leaving next week. It was nice to, you know, since I've been here, he's shown me around where he grew up, his schools. I got to meet a lot of his friends. I got to meet his mommy. It's been really nice. And one thing that I find so adorable about him is he knows how uncomfortable it makes me to be stared at, because being in Asian countries, you just get stared at for looking different and being a foreigner. And he'll look at them, like he'll look them down or ask them like, what are you looking at? And I'm just like, oh, tough guy. I like it. Basically, that's where we are now. Things are really good. The other day we did have like a really sad almost breakup day, because we were thinking logistically, how would this work out? You know, I'm about to have to leave. We don't know when or how often he'll be able to come and see me, but it wasn't as bad as it turned out to be. And it seems it's gonna work out. Like, we're fine, everything's good. But that moment made me realize I would much rather make this distance arrangement work than be without him. So like right now the plan is he'll come to see me for like a month. I'll come here for like a month, and we'll do like a month of not seeing each other. And one of the really good things about the fact that I'll be coming to Hong Kong to visit him frequently is because it'll put me back in Asia again. And I have a friend who's about to move out to Seoul later this year in autumn, and that is my favorite time to go visit Korea. The reason I didn't make it out in this time is it's too hot over here, and I don't have anyone to hang out in Seoul with. So I could have went to Jeju and hung out with Bria again, but she's also about to leave and she doesn't know when, and her sister's coming, and there's not a lot of room. And at her place, she runs an Airbnb and there's a guest there. It just wasn't working out logistically. So it'll give me more of a reason to come to Seoul, and I'll be able to film in Korea again. I won't be alone. I'll have someone to hang out with. And honestly, this summer I'm going to be really busy anyway, because I have my family reunion in the States. My mom, my grandmother, and my great aunt were going on a cruise in August, so I'm gonna be busy. So him not being there is not the end of the world. One thing that's funny is I was really surprised that my mom wanted me to bring him to the family reunion. She's met a few of my boyfriends so far, and she's never usually the type to like, oh, let me invite him to the house, let him come over, I want to get to know this boy. So I was really surprised when she said, oh, you know, he can come stay with us. And I was like, huh? You're offering, who are you and where's my mother? Tammy, where are you? She wanted him to stay for our reunion in July, and then the cruise is in August. So she said, he can stay with us. I was like, you want him to stay with us for like a month? She was like, yeah, why not? I'm like, are you okay? Blink, are you okay, Mom? While we were over there in the UK together, I got to meet his brother. And it was funny because honestly, I thought he was lying about having a brother, because I never heard him. I never saw him. He's like, yeah, he's downstairs. I'm like,
I said, bitch, where?
And when I met his mom, she was surprised that I got to meet his brother, and he was nice to me, because apparently he doesn't normally talk that much. But yeah, he was really cool. So I'm getting good with the fam. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what happened yesterday when I met the mommy. Now, for the whole time we've been together, I've heard a lot about his mom. She sounds amazing. Even if there's like a storm coming, he'll like, my mom just sent this. She'll send him like weather reports, like, make sure you and Cece stay dry. It's about to rain a lot over there. Like, be careful. And even before I got here to Hong Kong, she went around to like check out these service departments in person to make sure they were clean and safe and not dingy or dirty or ghetto. That's so nice. Like, she really wanted to make sure I was comfortable here. So she came around, she found this one in person. When we first got here, he stayed with me for a few days, but he went home to see his mom, and he came back with a hat that she got for me in Japan. I was like, oh, she got me a hat? Like, that was so sweet. So like, already I got really good vibes from her. I could tell she's a really nice woman. He's always had something cool to say about his mom, but of course, I'm American, I'm a black girl, so I was just like, does she care that I'm black? Does she care that I'm American? Does she care that I'm not Chinese? And he's like, I'm not trying to exaggerate. Like, you do not have to worry about that. My mom does not care. This whole time, I felt like if I come to Hong Kong, right, and I just leave after being here for almost 3 months, leave without seeing her, that reflects poorly on me. Like, that feels so rude to me. I did not want to do that. But at the same time, I didn't want to rush this because, you know, meeting your partner's parents is kind of a big deal. And I knew she wanted to meet. I didn't know where he was. Like, I didn't want to feel like I was like, I want to meet your mom. I want to know everything about you. He said, you know, don't rush it. Like, there's no pressure whatsoever, especially since my mom already wants to meet him. She's inviting them to family functions. But he did say, don't worry. Like, my mom thinks that the reason we're not meeting is because of me. It's not knowing that it's not because you're not ready yet. Double negative. What is English? And then, you know, I realized, okay, Isis, you're leaving next week. Like, this is going to happen sooner or later. You love this boy. He loves you. It's a great relationship. You got to meet the family, right? So out of nowhere last week, I was like, I think I want to meet your mom. He was like, what? Really? He's like, okay, I'll tell her. Like, she'll be excited. She's been waiting for this. The last few days I was scrambling, trying to find a good gift for her. And based on the pictures he showed me, it seemed like she really likes hats. So I was like, okay, I get her some hats. Like, they're about to take a trip together next month, just them two. So I was like, maybe she can wear this on your trip. So we went to the mall, I got a hat, and then I freaked out. I was like, I want her to have options. I'm gonna get another hat. So I bought her 2 hats, man. I was like, well, it's summer. Like, she needs to make sure her scalp can breathe. I don't want her to be hot and melt. And then the first one I got was from American Eagle because it's American. I'm American. And hearts are my thing. I like hearts. I like hearts. So I wanted to get her something with hearts on it. And then we were walking by and I was like, I need to find like some place to gift wrap this. I can't just hand it to her in a plastic bag. And then I saw another hat and I was like, I want to get that one too. He was like, babe, you don't like slow down. I just kept wanting to buy her different hats that I saw. I was like, what's her favorite color? I want this tissue paper to match her favorite color. And we finally got it all organized. She picked the restaurant, said, I'll see you guys at 2 on Friday. Today's Saturday. This just happened yesterday. So we get there and oh my God, the whole night before I was so nervous. The whole morning, I just felt this knot in my stomach. I was like, what if she don't like me? Ooh. Because I've never been in a situation where I met a partner's parents and like, you know, different cultures and different race and things like that. So I was really, really nervous. It's not fair, right? If you don't like me, let it be for something I can control. Let it be because I'm lazy or I'm a gold digger, I'm a bully, you know, things that are valid reasons to hate me, but not for something I can't control, like where I come from or my race or, you know, my finances, social class, things like that. I was nervous. And when I finally got there and, you know, she stood up and hugged me immediately. She's like, hi, sit down, sit down. Like, she was so freaking nice. And I'm like nervously handing her this bag. And God, I was so nervous. I felt so stupid because it went so well. So we're sitting there at lunch and I was thinking, I was like, please don't grill me about like marriage and kids. Like, I'm not ready for that yet. And luckily, nothing like that. Like, literally, we talked about travel. We talked a lot about food and how she misses London. She can't wait to go back. And that's another reason why this is all working out, because his mom and his brother, like family being over there and they have property over there, it gives him reasons to go back, and he wants to, like, he plans to go back soon. Another cool thing, you know, she knows my channel and everything, and she knows that I'm a YouTuber. She told me about her trip to Korea, and she said she was really disappointed because when she went there, it was a while ago, but the guys weren't like the pretty models and K-pop idols she expected, so she was disappointed. And we're like, oh yeah, you gotta go back. And she even likes K-dramas. Like, she is so cool. It really made me happy towards the end where she was like, I'll see you in London. Like, I'll see you next time you come back here. I'll see you in London this year. Like, I feel like that went really, really, really great. And, you know, since I've been here, I've been meeting a lot of his friends and stuff, and I'm trying to, you know, I make sure the friends like me. So I'm always like, what did they say? Did they text? Did they say anything about me? He's like, yeah, they want to see you again. They said you seem really, really sweet. You're nice. You're cool. So far I've been passing the vibe check. So I couldn't wait to get the reviews from his mom. I was like, what'd your mom say? Like, does she like me? Am I okay? So I had him like forward me the text she said, because I just wanted to reread these words and ingrain them in my brain. She really liked the hats, and she said they look pretty on her. But then she made me nervous because she said to him, do you want me to tell you the truth? And then she's like, I really like Cece. And she said that I'm prettier in person, which, dude, it's so bad because I was so obsessing over my appearance. I was like, I'm gonna get some new makeup. This lipstick is one I just ordered, Rare Beauty, in the shade Inspire. It's like their matte stuff. And I got like that under eye concealer brightener thing. Like I was like, I want to look natural and pretty and yeppal. So I was glad that she thinks I'm pretty. That was a relief. And she's so cute because I got her 2 hats because, you know, I didn't want to show up to this empty-handed. I wanted to give her a gift. She's helped so much with getting me here. She got me that hat, which is so nice. So I was like, okay, gotta get her a gift. I can't come empty-handed. And what's cute is because I gave her that, she gave me a necklace, but she had just bought it for herself. But she wanted to give it to me as like a return gift. And she's like, yeah. So I went and got another necklace for myself after. And I even told her, I was like, wow, like towards the end, I was like, wow, I feel really silly for being so nervous. She's like, don't be nervous. I don't bite, you know, like she was really, really chill. And my boyfriend was really quiet, but he said he wanted to give us the chance to talk to each other. Another thing I like about her, she's a Virgo. Y'all know I love Virgos. It's meant to be. Like she was really bubbly and sweet and funny. She's so funny. And, you know, we were talking about politics and things like that. And, you know, Hong Kong changing. I can't say too much while I'm here, but we'll talk about that later. It went really well. I've been in such a good mood ever since because that was something that was always in the back of my mind, worrying, because I've been in situations before where my partner was like, I don't know if you should meet my parents just yet. And the reason is because I'm black. So the first time that happened was in uni. I was dating this Indian guy. And when I first saw his parents, he introduced me to them as his friend and said, because I'm not Indian, they probably wouldn't approve. So fun. I remember in uni, I was dating a Russian guy, and the other Gemini, where I should have known from that moment to never date a Gemini again. But I met his grandparents, and they didn't really speak a lot of English. And I asked, I was like, do they know I'm black and all that stuff? He's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, they were really nice. In Korea, the guy I told you guys about, really good relationship, but it was short because of long distance and stuff. And honestly, we never had any real plan to reunite because I was gonna go back to the States the next year and he was gonna stay in the States, but we lived in different states. Like, it was never gonna work out. We were stupid. But I never got to meet his parents because he knew that they wouldn't approve. He said, I forgot which one he said might be okay with it. It was either his mom or his dad, but not both. One of them would have not liked that I'm a black girl and not Korean. And even when we went to Hong Kong together, he told them he went with a comrade, like a friend from the military. He didn't even get to tell them he was on vacation with me. So ever since then, that's something that I always worry about. So I want my partner's parents to know exactly what I look like, exactly where I'm from, exactly who I am, and not judge me for it. So yesterday, that's exactly what happened. I really liked how she's non-traditional. You know, we were talking about cooking because my boyfriend, great cook. She said, I'm so lucky. I have 2 sons that are great cooks. They cook way better than me. And she said, you know, I just started to cook in my 60s, not 16, not 16, 60. I just started to learn how to cook. And we kept ordering so much food. She was like, here, try this soup. I think you'll like this soup. Oh, I know you like cheese. I like cheese too. Like, she's so nice. Oh my God. I'm so happy. And then she was really excited about getting dessert. But God, at that point, we had so much food. And even my boyfriend was like, I can't eat anymore. But she was like, okay. I was like, I'll eat dessert with you. So we got Baked Alaska. I never saw it in real life. I only saw it on The Sims. I was excited to try it. It was pretty good. I am rambling. Oh my God. I don't get to talk about this a lot because, you know, I know he doesn't necessarily want to be out there like that, and I want to respect that, but also I feel like every now and then I want to update you guys on what's been going on in my life, because a lot of you are like, why are you in Hong Kong? Like, what happened? Do you live there now? And things are really good. I'm so happy. So just the thought that she wants to hang out more is great. And, you know, there's a difference between tolerating someone or just trying to be polite and cordial and coexist, but I think she actually likes me, and that makes me so happy because I really like her. Even while we were out, she was like, is my son treating you well? Be nice, behave, be good, and, you know, things like that. But yeah, guys, I just felt eager to share this because, you know, it's nice to put some positivity out there. And like I said, we've had a lot of story times on this channel where you're meeting your Asian boyfriend's parents and you're nervous about them accepting you or not wanting anything to do with you simply because of where you are, your background, where you come from. Some have been good, some where they just embrace you fully and they don't care about that because as long as their kid's happy, that's all that should matter, right? And then we've heard other stories where they're just like, I hope this one isn't a serious relationship. Oh, you should find a nice Korean girl. And I'm grateful that I didn't have to experience that. I can't wait for him to meet my friends and my parents. That's like the next step. If you like this story time and you want to hear other story times like this, please feel free to check out the playlist that's about to pop up on the end screen. I have so many story times on this channel. Hookups that are, you know, YouTube friendly, meeting the in-laws, dating times, how we met, fuckboy signs, things to look out for, story times like that. I don't want to ramble. I'm so sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching this story time. It was nice to get personal and vent and talk about this with you guys. Thanks for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.